I love spring and I love autumn. They're those transitional shoulder seasons where everything starts to change. I've got one set of plants going to sleep, I've got another set of plants waking up, and it's just so exciting when you start seeing those first little flecks of green saying, I'm back, or flowers popping up, seed pods, new life everywhere. It's just so much fun. But at the same time, it comes with crippling anxiety because as these plants go dormant or they wake up, their needs transform so significantly. And for a lot of these plants, which are so sensitive, one misstep and they're dead. Now, Sydney this year, apparently we've decided to skip over springtime. Last day of winter was 30 degrees Celsius. Absolutely insane. Climate change? Probably. What it's meant though, is that managing this period of change has been all the more difficult. And oh my God, I've got some absolute horror stories to share with you. So, today, we're talking all about death in the shoulder season, spring and autumn, maybe how we can mitigate it, maybe what we can learn from it. Maybe we're just gonna revel in a little horror story today, I don't know. Anyway, let's jump in and have a look at some cooked plants. One of the most anxiety-inducing questions we can ask ourselves this time of year is, will my plants even wake up? And that's especially true for any of those deciduous plants, those plants that lose their leaves when they go dormant. One such plant is Dendrosychios socotrana. This is called the cucumber tree because it's the only member of the cucumber family, cucumbers, yeah, that grows in tree form. Comes from a little island in the Indian Ocean called Socotra. Beautiful things, absolutely magnificent. Grow quite large and very fat. Now, excitingly, as you can see, this one's starting to leaf out again. It's made it through winter. And I had 4 of them. Keyword had. Yesterday I noticed 3 of them coming back into leaf, but the 4th one not looking so crash hot. Now the first thing that I do when confronted by something like this is I dig it out of the pot. Let's check the roots, see if there's anything going on there. Now in this instance, check the roots and immediately found roots weren't looking so good. And so gave them a bit of a trim. No live tissue there. Okay, that's not ideal. And what do? Well, we keep cutting till we find live tissue. Now, here's that plant. Cut. Oh, roots are off now. Still haven't found any live tissue. We're into the trunk. We'll go up the trunk a bit further. Cut. See you later. No. Now, at this point, this is a plant that doesn't grow from cuttings. So I know I'm pretty well cooked, but just keep going up the stem, see what we can find. Cut. Still no live tissue. Dead plant. Where did it all go wrong? Well, it wasn't this shoulder season. I didn't stuff up this springtime. It was back in autumn. We had an inordinate amount of rain in autumn, and these plants, they just seemed to be loving it. They stayed in active growth, fully leafed out, soaking up every bit of water. And I thought, you know what, as long as they're happy, I'll let them go. That was a terrible mistake because I suppose 3 more robust plants could cope with that amount of water. But this little sad one clearly couldn't accept it. Rot got into the roots, spent all winter just eating away inside the plant, and when it was time to wake up, there was nothing left to wake up. So anyway, it's probably a $500 plant in the Australian market. Not ideal, but we learn a lesson from it, hey? You're going into the green bin. See you later. Let's see what other tragedies have unfolded. So sometimes we make mistakes putting plants to sleep. Sometimes it's the other way around. We make mistakes waking them up. See this pot with a little brown stub in it? Nominally, this is a Euphorbia eclonii. Now, Euphorbia eclonii, I'll show you a growing one. This one's starting to go dormant, so it's not looking too crash hot. But Euphorbia eclonii is a winter growing caudiciform euphorbia, noted for being quite difficult in cultivation. I had 8 of them coming into our last autumn, and I think I was a little bit over enthusiastic trying to wake them up. a little bit too much water, a little bit too much sunshine all at once because, well, they started to grow and then they started to stop growing. And I was like, what on earth is going on here? They should be happily in leaf. Now, got them out of their pots, roots seem fine, had a look at the crown of the plants, and suddenly I noticed they've got what we might call top rot. I think I was a bit over enthusiastic with my watering and they got burnt in the harsh kind of early autumn sun. And so, well, out of those 8 plants I had, bang, see you later, 6 of them dead straight up. This one I beheaded in the hope that, hey, maybe we can save something. And it's been growing on its roots all winter. Hasn't died, firmly in plant, in pot, but never leafed out. Don't have many hopes for this one. Should be going dormant soon. How would I even know? Anyway, I've got 2 of them left, and hopefully one of them is male and one of them is female, and I can get some new ones going next year. But anyway, I don't know about my chances. Euphorbia eclonii. A very devastating story, that one. Now the horror isn't merely limited to dead plants. We can also scar them for life if we stuff up. We haven't really had a spring here. It's just, you know, straight into summer essentially. I'm practically melting every day making these videos. And well, that changing sun and those harsh beating down temperatures with a north facing greenhouse that lets direct sunlight in, if you're not careful, you're just asking for sunburn. Now this is a beautiful, relatively old Euphorbia symmetrica. Lovely plant. Also a horrific victim of the sun's rays. Have a look at that sunburn. Now, it's not going to kill the plant, hopefully, but that's never going to recover. That's going to scar over and be a fairly large and horrific blemish on what was a quite nice looking plant. I was quite fond of this. But you know, the sun, hey? Now, sometimes the sun just makes our plants look horrific, but see these little baby Conophytum bergeries, little winter growing plants, happily growing in the nice mild sunshine of winter, and then bang, 30 degrees, direct blazing heat. They're not set up for that sort of thing. And now, little guys have turned into little puddles of mush. Give them a squish and they're, whoa, way too squishy. Don't have many hopes for this. These are also quite tender little plants. So, unfortunately, the blazing Sydney sun strikes again. Now, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here. It sucks, yeah. Plant death is a really annoying, miserable, and often costly thing. But I suppose we can learn from those mistakes. Certainly know that I won't be repeating them next year. And besides, springtime is awesome. You've got all these new shoots coming up everywhere. It's actually really exciting to see. Just means you've got to be careful with what you're doing. Respond to your plants. Probably need to pay attention to what the weather's doing a little bit too. And where possible, gradually introduce your plants to change rather than just going gung-ho like I did. Moment of madness, end up with plant death all over the place. So anyway, on that grim note, happy growing.